Perfect.
How's it going? BTC community, XRP community, DLT community, crypto community, Blue Crew. What's up, Blue Crew? And all the communities out there, guys, welcome to another DLTalk. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for hitting the like sign on the way in. We got a bullish, bullish 4 people tuning into the stream. Appreciate you guys. Maybe we're lagging again. I certainly hope not, but it's just crazy, man. I can't believe it. We just keep dealing with technical issues. It's just a recurring thing. Let me see if we can find any way to possibly fix it. I gotta just keep moving my desk over to the edge, basically. We deal with some low budget crap over here on the stream, that's for sure. But let me know what the quality of the stream is like for you guys right now. Appreciate y'all. If I'm coming through okay, just let me know. Let me see if I got any other applications open that I can maybe close. Yeah, let's close that one. Alright, I think we should be pretty good. Let me know if we're coming through alright, guys, at the volume and everything. We always have technical difficulties now, consistently, to start off these streams, but it is what it is. Guys, I'm not a pro trader, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'll never tell you what to do. Thanks for tuning in. As always, we got a little bit of a retracement type of day. You know, it's kind of expected. We've been just kind of blowing up. In the past week, you've had 40% gains from XRP, you've had 62% gains from Solana, and, you know, venturing into price discovery mode, we do expect that it could possibly retrace back into the high 50s again before picking up, you know, testing previous resistance as support for Solana, and then moving up and continuing its price discovery. And hopefully we start getting into price discovery mode for a lot of these other cryptos as well. You know, maybe XRP starting to burst past $2 or so in the future would be tremendous. ADA, you know, ADA's just already been a massive behemoth in terms of gains in the past year for sure. Luna, just tremendous gains right here at $25 now. Luna's been definitely breaking out in a really big way, and just having more liquidity for Luna and the UST token that's built on that platform, you know, and also being embedded into Osmosis Zone very soon. I think a lot of good things are to come for Luna, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, along with Solana, you know, Luna and Solana, a lot of good talk coming around from developers and major investors in this space. I wouldn't be surprised to see them at a triple digits. Maybe that's too much for Luna in this current bullish cycle that we're in. So maybe high 50s before a major retracement, and then Solana. Well, Solana's just history in the making, for real. Like, out of all these cryptos, Solana is truly history in the making, considering where it's come from to where it is at now. And we've seen in just the past couple of days for Solana, guys, look at the 24-hour volume here. It's in the top 5 in terms of 24-hour volume, and it came out of nowhere. You guys were here on the live streams where we had Solana, we're looking at Solana at like 200 million in terms of 24-hour volume, and then it just skyrocketed in the past day and a half to 3 billion. Something's going down with Solana, and we're loving it. You guys know we've been following this coin for a really, really long time. This is one of the reasons we love diversifying. Obviously, we do have our main players, and Solana definitely being part of my main portfolio cryptos, because I really love the Greg Kitt portfolio. I love anything possibly connected to the Cosmos ecosystem or the ILP Interledger protocol. So Solana just seemed like a no-brainer, and it's just been awesome seeing, you know, tremendous profits coming from that crypto Same thing for Cardano holders, I'm sure, and many other holders of other tokens out there. And we're holding some of these as well. This is why we like to diversify into some of these other assets. Because if crypto is going to still be in this Wild West phase for some time, who knows when it's going to be over? It can end any moment, I understand. But so far, how it's been is, you know, we're trying to find the cryptos that are all connected in some way, shape, or form to XRPL, to the Interledger protocol, right? Which we know is going to be a major factor in the future financial system. BIS and Swift, in their innovation hubs, in their ISO 20022 hackathon, picking Mojaloop and Interledger protocol as like the best use case for ISO 20022. So we're definitely very much involved with anything that could be a project connected to that. And a lot of the projects that are connected to Interledger protocol seem to have fast transactions, very low energy use, you know, very efficient, highly secure. So we're going to keep, you know, investing in those types of projects like the Kavas. We're loving Kava right now at 206 in the coin market cap list or in the live coin watch list. I think Kava now, with Kava Swap coming out and other availability and liquidity on these dexes in the Cosmo ecosystem, and really starting to hopefully in the future see use of Interledger protocol, I think there can be some really good times coming ahead for the Kava community, especially considering its market cap is still so tiny. Streaming is a-okay. Legendary, you're awesome. XRP Joe, appreciate you tuning in, guys. Thanks for the 6 likes. I think the YouTube algos just don't like what the Blue Crew is doing here. There must be something going on with the YouTube algorithms where they just really don't want to see this channel, you know, grow. They want it to grow at a very slow turtle-esque pace. But hey, you're getting good quality here. We're hanging out with the Blue Crew. The Blue Crew brings the quality, that's for sure. And I always appreciate your support, you guys. You guys are amazing, man. Screw what YouTube thinks. We're doing our thing here, and we're hopefully benefiting from all the info that we come across on this channel. It's kind of been a silent news type of day. Maybe there's other news out there that I'm not too sure about. Let me just double check one source actually really quick, because I want to give you guys all the news that we can possibly go over, because we love to keep our eyes on the prize. We like to know what's going on with the central banks, the IMF, the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements. Okay, yeah, we got one. We got one that we can scoop in here. All right, we'll bring that in a little bit later. Or actually here, we'll drag it down to the tabs. So let me give you guys a preview of some of the news we'll go over today. We got reviewing Central or North Asia's central bank digital currency progress. We got blockchain security firm Certic raises another $24 million 1 month after its Series B. Guys, we like Certic. A majority of its nodes hosted on the Akash decentralized cloud. We think Certic is very innovative and looking very forward-looking, and obviously heavy into security on the Cosmos ecosystem, part of that Tendermint stack. We like what Certic's bringing, so we're going to bring some awareness about what Certic is and read this article as well. And then we have some really good good posts to go over from Twitter. A lot of good posts from Twitter, actually. A little video from Render Token right here. We love Render. Major connections to a lot of cryptos, a lot of blockchains, and just major like entertainment entities as well, and a really good product that they have built right there with Render. We got Nigeria's foreign reserve could surpass $40 billion by September. Got some Algorand news, got some Securitized news. You guys know we like to keep our eyes out on what's going on with Securitized, especially with Ripple and Tezos being major players in this area. Also, big news coming out. Emeris beta is now live, you guys. You got the power of cross-chain DeFi, another cross-chain DeFi DEX on the Cosmos ecosystem. Now you got Osmosis AMM. You got the Emeris DEX. You're going to have Gravity DEX very soon as well. So just loving the expansion of the Cosmos ecosystem, and can't wait to just see, you know, we know it's coming. I really feel Cosmos is still being majorly slept on, and I think they're the big boy and real legit version of what the Binance Smart Chain is, where these cryptos on this platform that are IBC, inter-blockchain communication enabled, working with the blockchain service network, working with the Interledger protocol. I think this internet of blockchains that Cosmos ecosystem is building is very, very underrated, especially these early projects that are on the platform, because they only really have like a good handful of projects. There's like about, I don't know, 20 to 30 projects that are building on top of that Tendermint stack, and a lot of them have like these amazing specific use cases, and all harnessing, you know, the Tendermint consensus algorithm. Awesome proof of stake, great staking rewards, great yield, great, and so far great user experiences, specifically from Osmosis Zone in terms of an AMM. So can't wait to use Emeris. And if you're in the Cosmos ecosystem, it's in the beta right now, but I wouldn't, like, you know, if you guys can give it a shot. I haven't got to just yet. I'm planning on doing so after the stream, but I've been heavily into the Osmosis Zone, and I'm excited for what Emeris can be bringing. That is for sure. It looks pretty cool. Global ID has some posts here, and I think this one's a little controversial. We should probably read it as well, because, you know, it kind of goes in line with what we're saying here, you guys. And then we got some ISO 20022 news. So a lot of good stuff in terms of the Twitter posts right here. So we're going to be going over a lot of this stuff as well. But shout out to the Blue Crew, guys. Thanks for tuning in for another one. Good seeing y'all. Let me get some music on here for you. And once again, appreciate the support. Thanks for hitting the likes. Thanks to any new subs. Guys, shout out to the Blue Crew. We made it to 2,600 subscribers. We're on our way to 3K, no doubt, and you guys are making it happen. Thank you guys so much for your support. As always, we got Crypto Boo Boo in the house, Ralph Cooper, JLXRP, Spencer Blackburn, XRP to the Moon Brawl, XR Free Me. What's up, man? Guys, appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Much love to y'all. Speaking of beta, is anyone else using Trustline Beta Wallet with the RE stablecoin? I haven't done that just yet, my man, XRP Joe. I wish I even understood more of what you were talking about. Cryptoholic in the house, what's up? Yeah, you guys made it. We haven't even gotten underway with the news yet. We've just been catching up and obviously talking crypto, but, you know, a lot of things happening, as always, in the crypto space, man. This space moves so fast, that is for sure. But it looks like we're in a consolidation day for today, at least the red. Maybe an exciting weekend ahead, you guys. A lot of telling times right now, because like right now, I think maybe some people might be getting too greedy on how strong these pumps have been. But now seeing Solana just going almost nuclear, I wouldn't say nuclear, but you know, now it's in price discovery mode for this project. I'm kind of excited to see what can happen from here on out for a lot of cryptos. Maybe a lot of cryptos start getting finally past all-time highs or closer to all-time highs in this run-up. Maybe this isn't a relief rally, but we're really happy we did. And, you know, people are taking profits today and a little bit of yesterday, and maybe in the future, who knows, because it was a really quick type of rally towards the upside with some tremendous gains. We're talking about, you know, triple-digit gains over the past 7 days, and certainly in the high triple digits within the past 30 days. So, you know, we can't get too greedy in the space. We know retracements do happen, despite how bullish it may be, you know. And of course, that's why we have a long-term hodl portfolio and a tradeable portfolio. Yeah, Solana, Crypto Boo Boo, thanks for the question. How will Solana affect Kin? I mean, the fact that Kin is on Solana, it's not like Solana is helping Kin out. Is that Kin is just, you know, realizing and seeing a really good project in front of its eyes and probably noticing something that's better than Ethereum. Maybe the reason Kin even dealt with regulatory issues with the SEC could be because it was working with Ethereum, right? So now with the migration over to Solana, and, you know, Kin has millions of users of its application, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like going to have millions of users for the Kin token. And even if it does, Kin has a very high supply. So, you know, Kin is always just one that's kind of just like a, you know, shoot for the fences type of thing. Like for me, it's more like a, I don't know, I'll never tell you what to do, obviously, but it's like, for me, it's like a throw. It depends on the amount of money you have and the type of income you make and the type of money that you can afford. But I think it's like a fun, in being very modest, it's like a fun throw 100 or maybe 1,000 into it, depending on how much money you make. 1,000 may seem like a lot of money to a lot of people, and it certainly does to me. So I don't know if I'd be putting 1,000 into Kin. That's really like ballsy, you know, go big or go home. But if there were a time to try to go big or go home and see what happens throughout the years with Kin, it'd be now. For sure. But But yeah, like a fun 100 and just see what happens, you know, and hold on to it forever. It would be part of your long-term portfolio for sure. But it could be a fun swing for the fences type of crypto. That's my opinion of Kin. Like, I don't know if there's going to be, you know, mass adoption for Kin. It definitely has a really good amount of people backing it. And, you know, I'm just trying to see the institutional backing. But in terms of, like, users that actually use the Kick application, yeah, there's, like, millions of them. So, maybe Kick eventually does draw some traction, and then thus Kin just starts going nuclear as well. And we've seen that happen in the space, guys. It's still the Wild West phase. Things like that could happen. But so far from what I've heard around developers and things like that, Kin's kind of 50-50 for me. It's kind of 50-50. JLXRP saying, I'd rather just get more XRP. I hear you, man. Total Strong fam, Mix in the house. What's up, Mix? Good to see you guys. Thanks for the 15 viewers and the 15 likes. Let's start jumping into the news. Appreciate you all tuning in. So, reviewing North Asia's central bank digital currency CBDC progress. China's launch of central bank digital currency ahead of the rest of the world has been a public relations coup, with some pundits declaring that Beijing has now thrown down the gauntlet to dollar hegemony. In fact, the nascent digital yuan's potential to disrupt the greenback's global dominance remains nearly non-existent. The first stage of the rollout is focused on the domestic market, while cross-border applications will face the same constraints as those in existing Chinese fiat currency until Beijing liberalizes exchange and capital controls. In a recent white paper, the People's Bank of China clarified that point out about the ECNY's applications. To be sure, the white paper mentions cross-border usage, but explicitly states that the main application for the digital yuan will be domestic payments, financial inclusion. By promoting a digital fiat currency easily accessible to Chinese citizens is one goal of the ECNY, especially as cash use continues to decline. Of course, China has already done an admirable job of boosting financial inclusion with digital finance. It's just that big Chinese tech dominated earlier efforts. To that end, and the ECNY, Beijing intends to promote competition and interoperability. Keyword: interoperability among e-wallets. The digital yuan, which can be used in existing e-wallets and will have its own digital wallet as well, ends up curbing the dominance of Alipay and WeChat Pay. Chinese regulators will likely be pleased. Compared to the other types of digital payments tools, the ECNY offers or differs in that it is legal tender, does not require a bank account, and can be used offline, and reportedly provides managed anonymity, although it will be easy enough for Chinese authorities to track these payments. So the digital yen, compared to China's up-and-running CBDC, Japan's digital yen very much remains a work in progress, yet Tokyo appears likely to roll out within a few years' time. The speed of China's ECNY launch and its potential give Beijing an economic edge, having spurred Tokyo to create a digital fiat currency of its own to stay competitive with China. Japan has some different goals than China when it comes to a CBDC. Financial inclusion is less priority given Japan's wealth and well-banked population, while Tokyo has no progress or pressing need to reduce oligopolistic practices among e-wallets. Rather, Japanese regulators sense an opportunity to accelerate digitalization of the financial services sector and wean the country off of cash, which still accounts for more than 70% of transactions in Japan. The digital yen has the potential to help Japan improve payment and settlement efficiency, in particular, facilitate payments offline and outside of normal banking hours. A digital yen would have both domestic and cross-border applications. So guys, as you can just see here with the updates on central bank digital currencies in Northern Asia, you're having China clearly leading the way, and it could be have a significant impact on the whole world with the advent of a China-backed digital currency or central bank digital currency coming from China, especially if China is first in that arena. You guys, I think it's going to be a major danger to the US dollar, and I'm interested to see how the US is going to rebuttal from this. And you're already seeing Japan maybe trying to find a way to take the lead ahead of China, which it doesn't seem like it is going to happen. But we do know how heavily involved Japan is in terms of XRP and other digital assets, even Cardano, for example. So what if, Japan realizes maybe we can't create a CBDC, but what if we decided, just in the way you see like other countries adopting BTC or Bitcoin, what if Japan decides to adopt something like XRP? And the reason why I'm saying XRP as opposed to other cryptocurrencies, maybe a Cardano or an XLM, for example, is that we know a majority of the central banks in Japan, especially the high-ranking ones, are part of SBI, right? And are also RippleNet customers and RippleNet partners, and probably already unleashing that ODL corridor, right? That on-demand liquidity. So what if something like that happens where, these countries realizing they have no chance to catch up in terms of the CBDC race with China, and decide to maybe adopt a high-priced, stable cryptocurrency? Just food for thought. Like to know what you guys think, but always keeping our eyes on the prize in terms of CBDC news. Jean-Francois, what's up, man? I can't log in. What about you people? On Emeris, I haven't tried just yet, man, but I do understand there have actually been some complications. I'm sure they're just getting flooded with so much traffic that they didn't probably expect. And remember, it's a beta. This is what betas are for, right? It's not the release of the actual project. A lot of people are like, why won't they get it right on the first try? Like, shouldn't they have expected this type of stuff? Well, yeah, maybe they expect it, but it's like the only thing you can kind of learn when you're actually doing it, right? So when you actually, and that's the reason you call it a beta, is so you can actually have these, chances to fix some bugs and whatnot. So looking at a chart right here, just really quick, we're waiting for Akash. We got Akash on a breakout here. Now we're just looking for Akash, and it already has some strong bullish momentum right here. If we can close right here with Akash, I wouldn't be surprised to hopefully maybe in the coming days, you're either going to get rejected right here at around this range because there is previous support that we now have as resistance here, and we already have sold off once at this point. But if we can close here, it could give us some optimism that we can work our way up to the top of the channel and getting close to about $5, but looking like $4.80 right here for the next point of resistance that we would have, which would be a $2 jump for Akash, and that would be an amazing part of the relief rally journey for Akash before maybe another pivot towards the downside. But we can definitely see something like that happening for Akash, and a $2 jump would just be tremendous, man. But yeah, Jean-Francois, here's a wrench, my man. With the wrench comes great responsibility. Please use it wisely. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Thanks for the question. I hold $50 of kin. I hear you, G. Exactly, Mix. It's like one of those ones, and the same thing with like Doge and some of these other cryptos that aren't so enterprise friendly or don't really have any major connections to, for example, the Global Blockchain Business Council, the Blockchain Service Network, Corda, Hyperledger, any of these cryptos that don't really have those major connections to them. I do certain things like that where I'll just throw $25 at it. I'll throw even $10 at some cryptos. I just want to be able to, have a really nice, even though I seem like I'm spreading myself thin, I do have a high concentration in certain cryptos, but I do like having a little bit of a fun diversity and just seeing where they go over the years, right? If I'm going to be in the crypto space for a long term anyway, and I'm holding long term, you never know what could happen. We've seen from Doge looking like it's a freaking joke, right, in 2018, and then all of a sudden Doge is not a joke, right? I mean, it could still possibly be a joke, I hear you, but from what we understand, Flare Networks really wants to embrace Doge for like NFT marketplaces and things, and so there's a little bit of divisiveness there from Doge. But what I'm trying to make, the point I'm trying to make is Doge in 2018 was perceived as such a joke, and if we're still in the Wild West phase, right? Yeah, these jokes can still make you a good amount of money, and that's why, once again, we have a long-term hodl portfolio, and then we got a tradle portfolio, and we wait for certain targets, we wait for certain goals, so then we can trade out of those cryptos eventually, right? And of course, we never know when regulations can come out of nowhere and spoil the party, but so far, they've been slow to a crawl, and, it can happen anytime, we understand that, and that's the risk we take, right? But then, what? We lose $50. Okay, cool. Can you check BAS? It went crazy. Thea D for sure. Guys, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the support of the Blue Crew. As always. Can't say it enough, and I'll just keep saying it because it's too true. Block Ape Scissors, I think it was. So it went crazy. 91% in the past 7 days. That's pretty awesome. Was it Block Ape Scissors? I don't know if it was Block Ape Scissors, but we added this one to the list because why not? Let me see. What else? Bases Share. Maybe it was Bases Share. So we'll check out both of these. We'll like both of these. Why not? Let's just add these two, and we'll see what ends up happening with these. Maybe these come out of nowhere and surprise us. Yeah, it looks good. 90% gains in the past 7 days. That's pretty awesome. I hope you made some good profits right there, Thea. I remember you even shouting that out earlier. So you're really good at like calling it just like the days before they actually like break out towards the upside in a massive way. I love that, Thea D. And I hope Blue Crew like hears her or them when they give these shout outs. Yeah, Kin doing some good stuff. 109% in the past 7 days. I probably would be enjoying some profits, but you know, that's just me. I love seeing triple-digit gains in the past 7 days. You can't get that in the stock market. Simply can't. Can't get this type of stuff like on the regular. Look at this. You get audio with triple-digit gains. You got, you know, this is insane, guys. The crypto space is just amazing, man. And not only like these percentage gains, but then you're earning yield. You're getting staking rewards. Like just tremendous opportunities right now in this market. And so many, you know, such few people still are even know about it. Some people are still just holding on to cryptos, not staking, not earning interest, not earning yield. And, you know, there's still a lot of a major educational cycle going on in terms of crypto. That's why I think we're in such early days, such early days. Banky coin coming August 19th on KuCoin and AVAX. Okay, for sure, JL. Let's add that one if it's here. Nope, it's not here yet. Hence why you're saying it's going to be launching. Got it. Much love to the Blue Crew. Let's get into our second piece of news. Appreciate you guys tuning in. So we're good. Let me see. All right, let me set this up. Let me put CerTick here. All right, yeah, looking good. Okay. So blockchain security firm CerTick raises another $24 million 1 month after its Series B. Blockchain security firm CerTick raised $24 million in new funding from Tiger Global and GL Ventures. CerTick plans to triple its current headcount of 100 and strengthen its security infrastructure, said COO Daryl Hawk. Just 1 month after closing its Series B funding round, blockchain security firm CerTick has raised another $24 million in a Series B plus funding round. The new round was co-led by Tiger Global and GL Ventures. There were no other investors in this round. When asked why CerTick raised funds again so soon, Hawk said the firm's growth continues to accelerate month over month, and when the two investors approached it, it decided to raise more funds to strengthen its position in the market. This additional capital will allow us to provide our security benefits to the blockchain space in lockstep with the hyper growth that the space has been experiencing. Tiger Global partner Pengfei Wang said for the decentralized finance DeFi innovations to be fully trusted, security must be the focal point. We're proud to support CerTick in raising the standards of security with the rollout of Skynet Premium. The product pioneers a novel and critical sector of the market, antivirus for blockchain. CerTick's Skynet Premium is smart contracts auditing and monitoring platform that provides real-time alerts against vulnerabilities. The tool produces security scores which indicate the risk potential for hacks and code malfunctions in a DeFi project. Skynet's alerts and security scores are publicly available for free, but its paid version provides more decentralized or detailed information on DeFi projects. CerTick says it has served over 1,300 enterprise clients to date and has detected over 23,000 vulnerabilities in blockchain codes. With fresh capital at hand, CerTick plans for further enhance its security infrastructure and expand its global team. Last month, Hawk said CerTick will double its current headcount is 100, but now the firm plans to triple its team size. We have reevaluated our hiring plan to be more aligned with our growth potential, so we're looking to add even more talent in the upcoming months. Guys, amazing news coming out from CerTick. Definitely one of the projects that I like in the Cosmos ecosystem, building on top of that Tendermint stack. And you can see their product definitely getting some love with this $24 million 1 month Series B, but also just seeing the increase in their team, more investors jumping through, more customers, more blockchains trusting CertiK's security audits and whatnot, and the release of its future products as well. Looking at the coin for CertiK, you got an all-time high at 396, currently at 196. I wouldn't be chasing this pump personally. I think you could be hitting some overhead resistance very soon, but once this thing turns red, I might have to accumulate some more. Definitely liking what CertiK is doing, and I feel what CertiK kind of reminds me of, and I know this may be overblown, but it reminds me of like early days Chainlink, where you had this crypto that was hanging around $1. It went from like what 30 cents or 15 cents up to $1, and it was staying there for a good bit of time. And then next thing you know, you started seeing it launching into the triple digits range, into the $20 range, and now we're seeing Chainlink possibly being hyperbolized or speculated to go to even the $100, even high triple digits range in the future. Who knows what the future potential is for all of these cryptos? I'm just saying that's what CertiK kind of reminds me of. So I'm looking forward to the future potential for this crypto, especially with such a small market cap of about 200 million, at least according to Live Coin Watch, and a super low supply. I'm very excited for this project, and once again, its nodes being hosted on the decentralized cloud infrastructure of Akash. Just very excited for the future potential of this crypto, and just happy to see it doing pretty well in the past 70 days, and looking forward to the future of CertiK. CertiK is a company that all these shitcoins go to get their audits done on. Yep, J-Roy, exactly, man. If you go to their website, you can definitely see a lot of S coins, especially Pancake, I think, getting a lot of love from CertiK's blockchain security. Yeah, Pancake Swap getting a lot of love. AAVE, 1inch, Binance, there's CertiK. Surprisingly, love seeing this with Kava moving up, Terra, and then you start seeing some of the Cosmos ecosystem coins here as well. So you got BSC and Cosmos ecosystem kind of battling it out in terms of CertiK security rankings. But I like their user interface. I actually do like looking at their security listings just to get some more information on certain cryptos as well. And yeah, looking forward to the future of what this could bring, right? So you got BSC projects. Pretty soon, I think they'll probably add the Cosmos ecosystem projects as a tab as well. It just makes sense because they're heavily involved with the Cosmos ecosystem. You can actually stake CertiK on Kepler and Cosmos Station as well. So it's definitely, it's a project I'm pretty excited for, especially considering how low that supply is. It just reminds me of early days Chainlink. I'm not saying like, go buy it now and all this stuff and chase this pump. We're not about chasing the cryptos that are in these heavy green ranges, especially when you're already up 79% in the past 30 days. Could it go up into the triple digits range? Sure. Could it go up to 200%? Sure. Then we miss the boat. But, once again, guys, this is just my opinion. People can be jumping into CertiK right now and whatnot, but the times that we were talking about CertiK, even a lot of these cryptos was when it was around this range. These are the areas we like to look for, is these sideways areas, or when they're just significantly far away from their all-time highs. That's when we like looking at these cryptos. But who knows, maybe with that news now, maybe CertiK starts creating a floor at around $3 or $4. We'll see. Oh, yep. Talk about, yep, we got some Zenfin news for sure, Matthew Pugh. Here's a wrench, my man. With a wrench comes great responsibility. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, I mean, Zenfin's doing its thing. We could jump to that for sure since you just jumped in, man, and appreciate any new members of the Blue Crew jumping in. Everybody welcome Matthew Pugh to the stream. What's up, my man? All right, let's see if this article loads up for you. All right. So news coming out for the Zenfin community here, XDC community. Zenfin's XDC network selected as the first blockchain company to join the Global Trade Finance Distribution Initiative. XDC network joins major transaction banks, SME funding platforms, and institutional investors committed to accelerating the digitization of trade distribution. XDC Network, a highly interoperable hybrid blockchain platform that supports global trade and finance, is honored to have been selected as the first blockchain company to join the Global Trade Finance Distribution Initiative. We'll open a tab there and check it out in just a second. A consortium of trade organizations or originators, credit issuers, and institutional funders on a mission to boost automation and transparency in trade asset and risk distribution. XDC Network was selected to join the TFD initiative by fintech veteran Andre Casterman, whose impressive track record includes over 20 years at Swift, leading various technology and innovative and interbank payments, corporate treasury, and trade finance. Casterman is responsible for spearheading the TFD initiative. In welcoming XDC, Casterman is also chair and fintech committee at International Trade and Forfeiting International Trade and Forfeiting Association, said TFD initiative provides the most comprehensive set of trade distribution capabilities. We welcome Zinfin's XDC network to TFD initiative, as this enables us to bridge the US $19 trillion trade finance asset class with any type of founder or funder through tokenization and digital assets. Guys, if you guys want the rest of this article, here it is in the chat. I would highly recommend checking it out. But awesome news coming from the XDC for the XDC community, coming from Zinfin's network. Guys, you know, we're seeing very, very under the surface how Zinfin is getting its work done. You really got to reach deep or be following them, obviously already be following them on Twitter, or really trying to look for their news on the daily, and you could find it. It's out there. But you're not going to see Coinbase talking about, or not Coinbase. Yeah, you won't see Coinbase. Coinbase does share some news. You won't see CoinDesk, that's what I meant to say, talking about Zinfin for some reason too much, unless it's involved with Corda. And you're not seeing Cointelegraph, any of these major crypto news platforms shouting out XDC Network in a major way. But you're seeing things like this, where they're just getting stuff done like ninjas underneath the surface. XDC, XTZ, Algorand, cryptos like these are being very quiet, but doing a ton underneath the surface. And I'm really excited for the future of XDC Network. And congratulations to XDC Network joining this highly reputable trade finance distribution initiative. And let's go check out their website if we can, really quick. Shaping the future of trade finance distribution. Read the latest press release you can here. Creating the blueprint for global trade finance distribution. Checking out the members that are part of this. And this is huge, guys. You got HSB, ING, AIG. Who else? Banco de Brazil, Bank ABC, Lloyd's Bank. Who else do we got in here? Just a good amount of partners for sure. Standard Bank, Standard Charter. And look at this right here on the bottom right, guys. The only one that we're seeing in terms of like a sort of hybrid blockchain or distributed ledger technology that's part of this membership group right here. XDC Network. That's huge. Gotta love it. But anyways, yeah, this is why we like diversifying as well, man. You see things like that for XDC and you just go, wow, I'm happy that I have a bag of it, right? I'm happy I'm not just all in on one certain asset. Like yes, I have like little FOMO tendencies, but I'm FOMOing in when these cryptos are red, you know, when not many people are talking about these cryptos, right? XDC, a lot of people have known about in 2018, in 2019, during those bear periods, right? And just, that's why we like taking a swing at the V chains, at the XDCs, at the H bars, the Codys, cryptos like those where there wasn't much talk, but you really don't know how they'll play in the next bull cycle. And we're already seeing XDC having some major gains in this 2021 cycle that's going on, and just more and more growth happening for it. This is why we liked to have diversified, but obviously just picking real boats, trying to pick real quality projects. I understand the prices of these cryptos doesn't necessarily mean utility, but at least we're still seeing development outside, you know, either coming from the news or coming from the projects themselves or the project's partners talking about the use of these projects. And that's what we like to look for in real boats. Yep, exactly, XRP Joe, for sure, man. That's why we got to dig deep, and that's why we tried to do so here on this channel, you know? Like, luckily we were following, you know, we follow their Twitter, or we follow the, you know, the news platform that was sharing that XDC news, you know. But yeah, definitely bullish on that crypto, without a doubt. Alrighty. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, let's start getting into some global ID stuff, because this stuff is getting weird, you guys. This stuff's getting weird. Actually, I gotta... Dang, I wish I would have prepped a little bit more for this global ID thing, because this one's... It's not like a deep dive or anything like that, but there's a train of thought that it made me... Like, all this news has kind of made me think of in terms of what's going on with global ID. So let me see if I can find it really quick for you guys. Because I think it'll be worth the wait. I know where to find it for sure. It's just having to go through the stream and hearing about it. So I think it might be in this. I think it might be in this one.
So Greg, have you joined us, Greg?
Yeah, we might have to, you know, I'll play it in like 1.5 speed, and we'll just see what Greg Kidd says right here, because it has to do with what we're reading today. So let's get into it. So recently on Global ID's report number 173, maybe the US won't ruin crypto after all. Let's jump into it. Where we are with the infrastructure crypto bill, the reality is that the US government is going to want more control and oversight over the $2 trillion rising crypto economy. That includes DeFi and NFTs and everything else blockchain. That's inevitable. Guys, this is coming from a former regulator of the Fed, Greg Kidd, former chief risk officer of Ripple, and early angel investors in a ton of awesome projects that I'm sure has made him ultra wealthy. So this guy is in the know. And if he is saying it is inevitable that the government is going to want more control and oversight over this crypto economy, considering the government and central banks own $2 quadrillion compared to crypto's $2 trillion. He's saying it's inevitable. It should be a good thing, though. It's validation that crypto is important, like the legalization of marijuana. It's also an opportunity for new tax revenues for investors and developers and entrepreneurs. Having regulatory clarity protects their efforts and money. Of course, things might get a little messy along the way. Such is the case with really new things that break the rules we thought we understood. So where are we with the infrastructure bill and the crypto tax provision, reporting requirements, and overly broad definition of the term broker? As we discussed last week, a compromise amendment was rejected by a low senator at the final hour. Now the bill will go to the House, where the battle resumes. In the meantime, Bloomberg reports that U.S. Treasury will release guidance on the new provision. The U.S. Treasury Department is set to clarify that only cryptocurrency companies it considers brokers will need to comply with proposed IRS reporting requirements, which seems like a positive development, but if you remember, it was also Janet Yellen and the Treasury fighting back against changes to the original wording of the bill. From Yellen's perspective, that makes sense. Let's start overly broad and then release guidance that's more specific. It allows the Treasury to cover all their bases and necessary wiggle room if they want to maneuver in the future. The guidance is also probably a move to help push the bill through the House, which without much of a fight, but we'll see how much this really appeases the crypto community. So coming here from Global ID, talking about the reality of the US government wanting more control and oversight over the crypto economy. Guys, major player in the space with Global ID, connections to Ripple, connections to Uphold. We're keeping track of what they're saying here. And if they're saying it's inevitable that governments are going to have more oversight on the space, then it's going to be inevitable. You're talking about former Fed, former regulator here. It's not going to be complete anarchy. Central banks and governments aren't going to go away. And so I know it's a nasty pill to swallow, but it's one that we're just going to have to prepare ourselves for. And what we do is preparing ourselves with enterprise digital assets, right? Because that's what we know they're going to want to jump in on, is the ones that are enterprise digital assets that may seem centralized, but they're maybe different types of form of distributed ledger technologies. Maybe they're as decentralized as you could possibly be, living in a world that's going to have significant regulations for digital currencies. And obviously, remember the ISO 20022 standard, where no matter what type of value you hold, it's going to be assisted with the messaging of the ISO 20022 standard. So then we look at Global ID's recent posts, and they even liked this. They liked a post that I made. I said my Global ID liked my saying Global ID is coming. And check out Jim Rickards right here. This is how you will display your Vax credentials and have them verified if you want to dine at New York City restaurants starting tomorrow. That's one approach. I have another approach. Skip New York. But guys, we've already known that this is going to be coming, right? They already have you scanning menus when you go to restaurants. They have you scanning QR codes everywhere. The QR code revolution is already happening very fast. People are already getting so used to it, using their smartphones, having access to smartphones. So it makes sense that you're going to probably have, you know, medical credentials. I'm not going to say the word. You guys know what I'm saying. But maybe presenting your medical credentials to be part of events, to go to football games, to go to concerts, to go to specific restaurants, indoor restaurants. Remember, in the future, your identity is the payment, right? And there's another one that I said, my global ID is coming, because funny enough, there was another type of post that was very related to what Jim Rickards was saying. So I just have to find it really quick, and I will. Here, I got to go to my tweets. Let me get the music back on for y'all. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the 26 likes. Don't mean to waste your time, but we're going to find it. So yeah, Jim Rickards posting that, and I said my global ID is coming. And then right here, breaking 911. Check this out. NFL's Las Vegas Raiders will require attendees to provide proof of vaccination on their phone to enter the stadium this season, or fans can get vaccinated in the parking lot and watch the game while wearing a mask. Now, guys, I'm not saying I'm anti-vax or pro-vax or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's very convenient that Global ID, my Global ID, has been building up since about 2018, 2017, roughly or so, right? And, you know, the type of platform, if you don't know Global ID, the type of platform it is, it's like a verification app where you can like have your social media stuff, your medical records, like a lot of things on this application that can verify to other, you know, to other places, right? That can verify that that is you, right? So it's called My Global ID. And now this just makes sense, right? You're going to have to provide proof of vaccination on your phone. Maybe My Global ID getting more mass adoption, right? Fire up the White Boy song. I got you, my man. Dang it, which one is that? I forgot what it is. I forgot which one it is, to tell you the truth. Legendary. It'll come up, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to come up, my man. So yeah, then in this video with Greg Kidd, he talks about possibly using, and this is in 2020, just when we're like right in lockdown, and already talking about the possibility of, you know, having to provide credentials. So let's check this out really quick. I'll play it in a little bit faster speed, so hopefully you guys can keep up. Let me know if it's too fast for you, although I understand. I'll play it at 125. How about that? Just a little bit faster.
Start by, you know, I've asked you this question before, and I know you have a way of answering it, but because everyone on this line are very sophisticated angel investors, what's your investment strategy? How do you end up being in so many unicorns and emerging unicorns?
Well, so first, I'm not a technologist. I mean, I am a person who's investing often in what we might call reg tech or even legal tech. So we're looking for situations, and I've always been looking for situations where there's a fundamental political and social change. And by that, I mean investments in companies and organizations that are going to change access, rights, and privileges. And so oddly enough, I think of Bitcoin, for instance, as a change in access. It means you can hold digital money without having to ask anyone permission. Twitter was a revolution of access of who could publish. Square was a revolution of access for who could take a payment. And Ripple has been a whole new way of transferring funds in different currencies all around the world. And so each of these have been revolutions in access. And so for me, it's hanging around people that are, yeah, there's technology, but what they're really changing is the balance of power in key industries and marketplaces. And so, so if you just hang around those crowds, eventually you'll bump into a few unicorns. I mean, Matthew doesn't like it saying that it helps to just be lucky, like a Forrest Gump type thing. But I think the theme of Forrest Gump was he was around when all these big things happened. And so, for instance, for like Ripple, it was going to the right poker game with all the payments professionals talking about, hey, yeah, there's Bitcoin, but this is the first company that's actually building a new blockchain where there's a company behind it, and it is multi-currency as opposed to single currency. And I was like, well, I don't know that much about that, but that's the kind of thing where you want to like go and see Chris Larson, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to be sweeping the floor. I convinced them that they needed someone to look after compliance and risk. So that's how I got in. So I'm not really the founder of any of these. I just kind of get in and hang around early and basically learn as I go. And so I'm not a co-founder of Twitter. Jack was living with me. I made sure there was milk in the fridge, and I did put money in, and I did work there some. But it's more about attaching yourself to people that they're out to, like, I often say they're out to do good, but they end up doing well. And that's been the key for me. I learn about technology as I go, but my premise is that the biggest revolution in each of the companies, and it's the same with like an Uber or an Airbnb, is they're revolutionizing access. They're flattening the levels of vertical complexity in industries. And yes, there is a technology involved, but neither what happened at Uber was not that technologically innovative. It was the way that they innovated in the marketplace. And those are the opportunities I'm just looking to go to lunch with the people that are doing those things.
Yes. So Greg, so if that theme of people changing access for the world,
I hope you guys don't mind. I guess we'll just watch this video because I think he's saying some interesting things as well, and I hope that it's very informative for you guys as well. So just appreciate your support. I'm kind of down to watch the rest of this. There's like about, I don't know how much longer he's speaking. Yeah, I guess he's going to be speaking for maybe close to 14 more minutes. We got a little bit of a playback speed up on this, so we'll just continue watching.
Around substantial and important needs and uses is sort of your investment, target. How do you hang out with the right people? I mean, we're all angel investors. We all hang out with each other. Who I know, and I'm not going to name where it is, but I know that you have a place and you invite people to come to that place. But how do you find the right places?
Don't call it a commune. Don't call it a commune.
Yeah, but how do you find the right places to hang out?
So look, it used to be easy. You just had to hang out on Market Street in San Francisco, and if you threw a stone, you'd probably hit a unicorn. And so, to some extent, there was a time when you could do that by just being around in San Francisco and just keeping up with what the buzz was and going through it. The world's not like that now. So part of the reason I'm working with folks like you, Matthew, and whatnot is the opportunities are now coming, and you have to get on that plane and go around the world and find like where the next Skype is going to come from. So you have to go to like Estonia, or like you need to be around and see how WeChat works. And so in the last 5 years, I think there's been a huge shift. And so you can't just be lazy and hang around the Bay Area and expect to bump into things. And so you have to pick your poisons. And so, I mean, back in around 2012, was the blockchain for me. And now, like the last couple of years, it's been identity. And this COVID thing has been a huge education, because like once again, just standing around without identity and the ability for you to prove your identity, and that you've either had a vaccination, that you've had a negative test, or you have the antibodies. I don't know how we're going to get back to anything that looks remotely like normal. And so identity is one of those things that's been like waiting to break out. Now, here we are. If you want to avoid Zoom bombing or prove before you get on the airplane that you don't have the virus, without strong authentication of identity and then the ability to attach proofs to that identity, I don't see how we're going to get anywhere back to anything that resembles normal. And so,
yes. So let's just talk double.
All right. So that's what we were looking for. That was the thing that, kind of made me like kind of alert when we saw this post coming from Breaking 9/11 here. But NFL's Las Vegas Raiders will require attendees to provide proof of vaccination on their phone to enter the stadium this season. Right? So on your phone. So this is why I kept saying my global ID is coming. And then you have Jim Rickards a little bit after. This is how you will display your Vax credentials and have them verified if you want to dine at New York City restaurants starting tomorrow. Right? So let's hear what he has to say one more time, because I think it should be driven home. Like, It's just funny that he was saying this right as the freaking, you know, as it began. You know what I'm saying? As our lives began to change in 2020 significantly. He was so early in April 30th of 2020 saying this, like, and having already had the startings of his company, My Global ID, happening in 2019, 2018. I do believe Greg Kidd must have known something was coming. Must have known. But let's just check this out. Because he seems to be at the right place at the right time, like, for a lot of things, right? So, of course, just surprisingly creating Global ID in like 2018 or 2017 or whenever he did, being a part of Uphold, and now seeing how big Uphold is getting as a centralized wallet for cryptocurrencies. And, you know, Ripple, of course, seeing where they're going with their trajectory and where Twitter has gone, and Square and their involvement now with crypto. So let's hear this one more time coming from Greg Kidd.
Yeah, or like you need to be around and see how WeChat works. And so in the last 5 years, I think there's been a huge shift. And so you can't just be lazy and hang around the Bay Area and expect to bump into things. And so you have to pick your poisons. And so, I mean, back in around 2012, was the blockchain for me. And now, like the last couple of years, it's been identity. And this COVID thing has been a huge education, because like once again, just standing around without identity and the ability.
So these last couple of years has been identity. I wonder what ticked him off in 2018 or so. Maybe even earlier. Maybe he's being modest. Maybe he's being the poker player that he is and just showing a poker face and not revealing too much info, right?
Once again, just standing around without identity and the ability for you to prove your identity, and that you've either had a vaccination, that you've had a negative test, or you have the antibodies. I don't know how we're going to get back to anything that looks remotely like normal. And so identity is one of those things that's been like waiting to break out. Now, you know, here we are. If you want to avoid Zoom bombing or prove before you get on the airplane that you don't have the virus, without strong authentication of identity and then the ability to attach proofs to that identity, I don't see how we're going to get anywhere back to anything that resembles normal. And so,
yes. So let's just double click on that. I know that you're the co-founder, or you are the founder of Global ID. I know Link2 is working very closely with you on that,
right,
and that you've been kind enough to be the lead investor in Link2. But just because we only have 15 minutes left, just what's the from to of global identity? You know, what is it today, and what do you think it's going to be?
So up till now, identity has been what a company or a country have said it is. So identity has been defined in national terms. It's been defined in country terms. Like there's a Facebook identity, there's a WeChat identity. Like what it is going to be in the future, in the Star Trek future, where everybody can buy dilithium crystals, doesn't matter whether you're Cleons or Romulans. They've obviously figured out a form of money and a form of identity that's not only global, it's intergalactic. So they have a form of identity that doesn't live within the silo. The way we've been up till now has been a lot like what the internet was when it was the days of AOL, Prodigy, CompuServe. Each of those dominant companies wanted you to be in their silo, and they thought their silo was going to crush everybody else's silo. And when the World Wide Web came along with a protocol, in this case, the protocol was for the domain name system, which if you think about it is an identity system for the web. It's not a technological innovation. It's a linguistic innovation. It's giving every website in the world, not every website at a particular company, not every website in a particular country, giving it a name so no two sites have the same name. We're at that point now with identity.
I should watch him. He's least now wearing his bike here.
Someone else just interfered. Greg, please keep going.
So today, the big opportunity for the far future is to come up with an identity solution that is portable across those silos. And so while AOL didn't think that the World Wide Web was going to like trump it, WeChat, Telegram, WhatsApp, they probably think, hey, we're the solution. We're the identity solution, the messaging platform. The question is, none of them are interoperable. And so for us to come up with a solution, if you're going to prove those credentials, you're going to have a form of identity that cuts across those silos, not just the company silos, but the country silos too. If China makes a digital currency that is like a crypto digital currency, who's going to be able to hold it? Chinese people, non-Chinese people? Well, how are you going to know without an identity system? And it can't be one that just lives within their silo. It's got to work across the silo. So that is what the far future is. But we need to bring the far future close in, because COVID doesn't know about company boundaries. COVID doesn't know about national boundaries. You're going to need to have a credential, prove your identity, and prove a state of your health on a global basis in a way, hopefully, that's privacy preserving and secure. That's the.
Oh my gosh, man. He is giving so many, like, guys, it's profound what he is saying because of how it's being reflected a year and a half later, guys, he said this in April 30th of 2020, and it makes more sense now than it ever did at the time. At that time, it was like really just, you felt like he was just kind of speculating in a way of what could be happening, and now you're seeing that kind of becoming a reality more and more, unfortunately, and fortunately maybe perhaps. But yeah, let's just go back for these last 10 seconds again. Just wanted to, I can just hold in that opinion just because what he's saying right there in terms of trying to have not only, you know, a digital currency that can go across borders, now especially in the future where your identity is the payment, you're going to need an identity solution that can go across borders, right? And that you're going to have to just, you know, provide your credentials on a global basis, not just country per country, right? Specifically in one silo or another. More globalized system, more globalized financial system, more globalized economy, more globalized identity solutions. Future is global. And apparently, to Greg Kidd, intergalactic.
Challenge, that's the opportunity.
Thank you. And I know that a number of people who are listening to this will probably want to learn more. And
future is, but we need to bring the far future close in because COVID doesn't know about company boundaries. COVID doesn't know about national boundaries. You're going to need to have a credential, prove your identity, and prove a state of your health on a global basis in a way, hopefully, that's privacy preserving and secure. That's the challenge. That's the opportunity.
Thank you. And I know that a number of people who are listening to this will probably want to learn more. And globalid.com is a place they can go, and there's some white papers.
It's just global.id. We got rid of the
That's right, global.id.
That's too complicated, Matthew. That's the other thing. Everything's got to be simple.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you for that. And I was with the British government at an event before Christmas, and they're pounding the drum on this topic too. The reality is we, all of us, are being scammed and hacked and phished and SIM card hijacked, and identity is today breaking in very substantial ways. And that's before we get to the questions such as which of us have had this horrible virus and which of us hasn't, and so on and so on. So we got time for two more questions, Greg. And the first one I want to ask you is actually going to be about other companies that you're very passionate about and interested in. And I have already given the preface that you'd never like to recommend anyone invest in something else. But on the other hand, you're a very active investor and you are investing in things. So I've watched you over the last couple of years, and you are in Uphold and you are in TransferGo and Yo-Yo Wallet and Link2 and Ripple and Brave and others. Where are you placing your angel dollars right now? And what are some of the companies that you're excited by?
So I have placed a big bet on Uphold, and you can think about Uphold as like a Coinbase, but with APIs so that other people can build on it. Instead of them building their own ledger, them building their own wallet, they can rely on Uphold. And so my big premise today is don't build your own messaging system, don't build your own ledger, don't build your own wallet, don't build your own identity stack. Build whatever you're building for your particular vertical, your particular geographical segment. Get those users, and just like what Stripe and Twilio did 10 years ago, now there's equivalents of that for wallets, ledgers, identity, and cards. And so each of the companies that I'm investing in does some piece of that. Uphold does the wallet. There's a company called Apto. Apto is who did the card for Coinbase. They did the original Venmo card. Marquette is doing the card for Square. So these are the folks that are the Stripes and the Twilios of tomorrow. I do like Brave also, because Brave has a model for privacy preserving browsers. It's an alternative to kind of cookie and advertising based world we've lived in with Google and Facebook. That world has been very privacy shredding, or has also been just downright creepy. And I believe that the future solutions, both for regulatory but also ethical reasons, are going to have a different business model than the old ad model and basically selling your identity to the highest bidder. And so I'm investing in companies that are plotting an alternative to what is the current Google and Facebook paradigm for an ad-based sell your identity to the highest bidder world.
And I'm riding on your coattails, my dude. As bleak as this future that you're talking about kind of sounds, it's happening, right? The merging of identity with payments is happening. It's not only him who has said it. We've seen the ECB say it. We've seen Bank for International Settlements say it. We've seen IMF say it. We've seen NTT Data say it. A lot of institutions talking about the importance of identity to payments, right? And the importance of increased security for identity and the necessity of identity solutions. And guys, I just also wanted to point out how he was talking about Uphold in terms of how they're, very focused on their specific use case and specific vertical, right? And how kind of open stack they are, where you could be built, using Uphold's wallet, but you don't really need, it's not a specific ledger or not a specific, system that I believe that he was talking about. So it doesn't make it a silo, but it makes it very handy and useful. And it kind of sounds like very hive-mindy here. It sounds like very much like what Ripple has said type of things, right? Focus on one specific vertical, right? Don't try to be all these things all at once. And maybe stating the advantages of something like an Uphold over a Coinbase, right? And then talking about, what the future Stripes and Squares are like, these types of institutions, these types of, heavily focused on payments and identities type of projects.
Yes. So I'm just going to, that was good. Thank you. And then because Link2 and Ripple are presenting today,
Right.
And I know you're not recommending anyone ever invest in anything, but why are you why were you so interested in Ripple, and why have you invested in Link2?
Well, Ripple actually came before Ether. People kind of think about it the other way because Ether has a bigger market cap than Ripple right now. But Ripple was just like, it was like Bitcoin, and you added another column for like different currencies. And I was like, hell, I want one of those. And so that was the way for me to learn about the blockchain, because there was no like Bitcoin company to go to work for at that time. So that was the first company that tried to actually commercialize. And what I was fascinated with Ripple is it might take this exotic technology and bring it to the mainstream. That's what's been exciting for me. Link2 is an access revolution, right? So this whole world of trying to sell private company stock, it was a pain in the ass for me selling my Twitter and Square shares. If something like Link2 had been around, the whole world of giving liquidity to private company markets like we take for granted for public company markets, that to me is like a huge reduction in friction. It's a huge increase in access, because you can get involved in companies for a much smaller amount, and you learn by investing. You pay a lot more attention when you have, even if it's just 10,000 shares of Robinhood, you kind of pay attention. And if you can do with Link2 what you can do with Robinhood, then that is a whole nother method of access. And it's great for the companies that are raising capital. It's great for those of us that are treating angel investing not just as a way of like making money, but of like educating ourselves. And it makes it easy and it makes it fun. And so I'm really excited that and potentially, if we can bring that Link2 capability to like the rest of the world that has, how many accredited investors are there in the world? The fact that we could do that on a global basis, that's a huge access revolution as well.
Great.
So all about access, all about payments, all about identity. Great kid, just always a good source of information, and can't believe he was talking about that stuff in April of 2020, and just kind of foreshadowing a lot of things, right? Especially now we're at this point where we have to use our smartphones basically 24/7. Right? Now using it as a form of ID, using it as a wallet, using it as an entertainment vehicle, using it for social media, using it for communication, everything, man. It's just, that's all you need, is just this little smartphone in your pocket at all times. And then longer battery lives and all that stuff. Pretty funny, man. But nonetheless, we also have some other news moving on. I know that was a little bit of a long one there, you guys, but I appreciate you guys. So Interledger Foundation coming out with, we asked, you answered. If you participated in our poll in July, we heard you. Open payments was the leading answer for what you'd like to learn more about. Tune in here on Twitter tomorrow for some open payments trivia, and stay tuned for more on this topic. Definitely keeping our eyes out on Interledger Foundation and following their, Twitter page, which has a good amount of users or good amount of followers on it already as well. Little funny thing right here, underwater vacuum cleaner. Just crazy stuff. We don't have to watch that whole video, but I just thought that was really crazy. Let me see, what else do we got here. So The Economist posting how companies that previously relied on face-to-face customer interaction can optimize their digital strategy to successfully and seamlessly transition into the world of online business. Guys, I think they believe we're just going more and more. I think the Big Bang migration, not only with central banks being brought online through ISO 20022 and the Interledger protocol, and being in harmony with these payment service providers and internet wallets and so forth, it's also going to be just the masses migrating more and more into this online world. We already seen Ready Player One, for example, and other movies that have the like of embracing virtual worlds, creating virtual avatars, having virtual items. Those carrying significant value in those virtual worlds and the importance of being in those virtual worlds, and the benefits, maybe the payoffs of doing it. Just very interesting to keep track of, without a doubt. And we don't try to make it, we're not trying to create like anything dark here or anything like that, you guys. We're the Blue Crew is just trying to shine light into the darkness and trying to be aware of it. It's not something that we're trying to keep pushing away. We're trying to keep up with what these people are talking about, because this lets us know how to look into these cryptocurrencies and seeing what cryptocurrencies are working to provide better access to payments, better access to identity solutions, better access to supply chain information, medical information, so on and so forth, and helping us find the real boats, right? Greg Kidd's portfolio consisting of Solana. I'm sure he's ecstatic about the price that Solana has gone up to. He has XRP. The guy is a major player in the space, early angel investor in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Filecoin. So that's why we like to keep track of him. And he also holds Kava, you guys. And Kava still hasn't left the station, I believe, personally. And, HBAR as well. He's invested in HBAR. So that's why we like to hear what, these powers to be are saying, despite sometimes maybe it sounding a little grim, right? But, we got thick skin. We're shining light into the darkness. We're beings of light, beings of love. You guys know that. Truth hurts, but sets you free. Exactly, Thea D. Black Mirror in my pocket. Diesel Hound. So true, my man. Well said. Pool cleaner? Animal 54, future pool cleaner, I suppose. Very true. Very true. Let's get to some of the ISO 20022 stuff that came out. So yeah, payment infrastructure news here, posting ISO 20022 for Dummies, a blog post by Pavlo Seidloff, CTO at SDK Finance. He describes ISO 20022 as the next big thing for the whole financial world. Guys, this is a CTO from a company. I really don't know too much about SDK Finance, unfortunately, but we're going to start following them from here. But talking about how important ISO 20022 is, and payment infrastructure news having been ISO 20022 news previously, giving credence to this guy's perspective. And so here I'll share this information with you, and when I look into it, I'll see if I find any good useful information. But definitely, it's a lot of what we've been talking about: the ISO 20022 Big Bang migration, Swift's plans, which is a video we released just recently, the roadmap that Swift has in terms of going into ISO 20022. I think if you're in the crypto space, it's very important to be keeping up with what's going on with ISO 20022 information. So that's why we like to bring it up here on this channel. And I think we're really one of the only crypto channels that tries to almost daily focus on the theme of ISO 20022, the theme of central bank digital currencies, and what's going on with regulators, as well as, a lot of other things in the space, you guys. You kind of know we go all over the place, because that's what distributed ledger technology is. It's all over the place. So appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Thanks to the Blue Crew for all the support and love. Thanks to any new subscribers to the channel. Appreciate the 33 likes on this video. You guys are amazing. Let me get the music back on, and we're going to be heading on out. Appreciate you all. Much love. Thank you. BTC community, DLT community, Blue Crew, XRP community, Atom community, ADA community, Sol community, Dot community, Link community, LTC community, BNB community, Ethereum community, Doge community, Flare community, and all the communities out there. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. Stay tuned for the shorts and highlights coming from this video. Much love, Blue Crew. See you guys in the next one. Adios.